So, what inspired you to transition from biomedical engineering background to starting your own company? I know we talked about this a little bit earlier. It was a part of your mom influence. She may have planted the seed, but really, what really made you kind of dive right into it, especially in women's health technology?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I remember that I was in my third year, actually fourth year, sorry. I was having my part-time job on campus, and so I already had an exposure to entrepreneurship. And then I was in that lecture, and the prof was talking about sensors, was talking about having sensors knitted within the fabric, and having clothings that have the ability to sort of take your vitals, to monitor your vitals, to even diagnose you with cancers in the future, or even have therapeutic effects. And there is also, so that was very fascinating for me. And there's also an organization in Canada, which is called University Health Network, or UHN. They are one of the biggest hospital networks in Canada. And soon we're going to be partnering with them to do a lot of R&D. And they have one of the largest research groups, again, in Canada, which is called KITE. And one of their focus is smart textile and functional fabrics. And when you go on their website, and I remember in that lecture when they were talking about KITE, they were talking about the research group and all of that. I went on their on KITE's or Fibra website on UHN, and they have a quote where they say, "Imagine a world where socks treat bladder issues, and t-shirts stop heart attack, and pants help people walk." And imagine that world for a second. Like, you have socks that treat bladder issues, or it's very well, theoretically and technology wise, they have like a nerve stimulation in the socks. So it sort of tingles your muscle at the back of your feet, and that nerve is actually linked to your bladder. So that's how it's distracting your bladder. And like, on a very high level, that's how it operates. But it's very interesting. Like, your everyday clothing in the future is going to be even able to detect any type of cancer as early as possible. Like having bras which would detect breast cancer in women, or having, as UHN have on their website, having t-shirts which is going to stop heart attack. Not only like diagnosing that, but stopping that as soon as possible. So that was very fascinating for me. And that's a very, that it's going to be very revolutionary for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So anyways, I was in that lecture, and the prof was talking about smart textile, UHN, research, and all of that. And all of a sudden I was like, so why not have a smart underwear to maybe like have like a skin temperature sensor in it, and it detects ovulation accurately. And then women can use that for contraceptives in the future. And so that then women don't have to go with super invasive options of IUDs, with hormonal pills, or even rely on their inaccurate apps to tell them if they are fertile or not, to then avoid pregnancy. And these were all of the problems that I, as a woman, was facing when it comes to contraceptives. And not just me, but also every single one of my friends, they were also experiencing the same problem with contraceptives. IUDs, it's super, super invasive. Pills, hormonal, you don't want to put extra hormones within your body.
Yeah, I can't even imagine, right? There's so many side effects for that too, from what I'm reading about.
And so I started hypothesizing, and I wanted to sort of come up with a solution for contraceptives. Now, a couple of side notes and sort of a disclaimer. Even though that we want it to be a contraceptive product, we are not a contraceptive product today. And we are a fertility tracking product to help women get pregnant. At this time, women should not use our product for contraceptives. So that's a disclaimer that I wanted to make clear. So we're not a contraceptive at all. But then in the future, there is a possibility of having a product similar to ours provided by Fibra, which is specifically for contraceptives. But today, our product is to help women get pregnant, and it's directly towards fertility. And also another side note was that our patent pending technology today is much more advanced than just having the skin temperature sensor in it. But in terms of the origin story, this is where everything started for us. And we even chose the name Fibra because Fibra in Spanish means fiber. And we're dealing with a lot of functional fibers, with a lot of functional fabrics. And this is how we are making the sensors, actually.
That's actually exactly what I was going to ask. I was going to say, like, walk me through Fibra because it's Fibra, not Fibra, right? Fibra, right?
Fibra.
Like zebra, Fibra.
Exactly.
Is that what you have in the logo, like the zebra print on it? Walk us through that. Why did you put the zebra out? It's very interesting.
I love this question. Yeah. So first of all, Fibra rhymes with zebra.
Yep.
And then if you if you pay attention to the pattern of a zebra, you have the white pattern, you have the black pattern. And then in a way, it's like you have a fabric that's made up of normal fiber and the functional fibers that we have. So it's a combination of like two different types of pattern in one structure, which is very similar to what we have.
Oh, okay. And is it the fiber with the technology, or is it the technology with the fiber? You know, if it's a black with white stripes, or white with black stripes. Interesting. And okay, so Fibra, that makes much more sense because I was wondering why Fibra, but that makes sense if it's like fiber in Spanish.
Yeah.